rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Feel Good Friday, March 26, 2021, years after zero. Big show today. Woo! Just got my hair cut. Thanks for noticing. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. We are live on SiriusXM, Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio, and YouTube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. Big news out of the NFL this morning. There's a couple things. Zach Wilson is working out in the middle of Provo, Utah. The BYU quarterback allegedly is throwing to be the number 2 overall pick today. Yes, I assume the meetings and the physicals and the height and weights are important, but the way everybody is speaking is if he puts on a clinic today while throwing the ball in shorts and a t-shirt with no pressure in his face or defense to read, throwing to wide receivers he's known probably at BYU for 20 to 25 years at this point, he could potentially go up to number 2. I'm proud of Zach Wilson. This is an incredible position to be in, but to act as if the pro day is the only thing that'll be able to display whether or not he is worthy of the number 2 overall pick, I believe is a bit short-sighted. I would assume the teams that think he's potentially worth trading up for the number 2 overall pick, or the Jets to take him at number 2 and move on from Sam Darnold, there's probably a lot of film I'd assume that they've looked at. I assume the meetings and the Zoom calls and the conversations are a big deal. But the way people are talking as if he throws well today, he's going to go number 2, that means they got a lot of questions on him still. If they're still wondering whether or not he can throw well at a pro day, I'm intrigued to hear how this whole thing goes. Good. Big shout out to this guy, but I didn't even know he existed a year ago. By the way. I mean, I assume big college football fans did or whatever. And shout out to you guys. This is much more of an NFL show because men's league and just a lot more friends in the. I mean, it's just we're an NFL show. But this guy came out of nowhere. This is Joey Burrow almost again. Now, I'm not saying that he had a Heisman National Championship-like year, but BYU was on the national stage again. Remember, they took a Thursday night game or a weekend game, and on like 3 days after learning on Thursday, flying into Myrtle Beach to take a team. I love this team, the BYU squad this last year. I also love that this guy came out of nowhere, and I enjoy the fact that this guy has one workout away from potentially making like $15 to $20 million more than what he could potentially make. Whenever I was, trying to be a kicker in the whole world, you try to play head games with yourself and practice to simulate a potential situation you could be in a game, And I always, my big go-to was, because we all know at this point, as a child, the only thing I really wanted was to be rich. I don't care how else it goes. So I used to go like, okay, this kick is for $1 million. So I would try my best to put myself into a situation where I'm like, okay, there's somebody standing behind me that actually comes over, some guy probably in a suit if I had to guess, some super yup or whatever. You make this kick, I'll give you $1 million. I used to try to do that in my head for, kicks and field goals and punts. And even whenever I was playing soccer and I was just kicking, I used to have that thought. Today, this kid legitimately, okay, you have one workout, kid, today. You have a workout today that could change your entire life if you go out there and light it up. And on the flip side, what if, Because if they're saying this entire pro day, right, which is allegedly supposed to start in about 54 minutes or so on NFL Network, they're saying if he has a good pro day, he's going to go number 2. People are going to want to trade. What if, live on NFL Network, what if it's in the dirt? What if it's? I'm not saying it's going to be this kid has a lot of moxie, a lot of swagger. He's going to have a great day. But whenever you put that much power into something potentially working out, does it have the equal and opposite amount of power? If it doesn't work out, makes me wonder. And are we potentially just blowing a pro day completely out of proportion? That's what it is.
Sure.
Also in the NFL, Leonard Fournette just re-signed back with the Buccaneers for a deal that's worth up to $4 million, $3.25 million. Congrats to Lombardi Lenny. Had no idea what was going to happen with Leonard Fournette. I thought he was going to get paid somewhere. Then, obviously, the salary cap does what it did. And the Aaron Jones running back market, where he goes back to Green Bay, there really wasn't a lot of big-time running back signings here. Now, the wide receivers kind of had a moment where they were kind of waiting to get signed, and there was a lot of players moving to New England and a couple other places. But Leonard Fournette, I thought there was a chance with how he performed in the playoffs after Ronald Jones, the original starting running back, gets hurt. He was fast. He was dominant. He was decisive. He was breaking ankles, making cuts that I don't think he was doing whenever he was in Jacksonville for whatever reason. Maybe it was because he hated being in Jacksonville. Maybe it was because the team wasn't great. But whenever he got to Tampa, we didn't know what I was going to expect. In the playoffs, what we got is what we thought we were going to get from Leonard Fournette coming out of LSU. He showcased a completely different gear in the Super Bowl, popping off for like a 30-yard touchdown. I thought teams were going to really want to get Leonard Fournette, but once again, we run into the old adage that running backs have no value at this point. It makes no sense to me. He changed that team whenever they started running the ball more. Tom Brady actually wanted to start running the ball more in the middle of the season after the bye week, so the running back is very important. They could have got James White. They chose not to do that, and now the Buccaneers have somehow finagled a way to have all 22 starters from the Super Bowl back.
Jeez.
Now, I guess that means Antonio Brown was not considered a starter. So I guess that's what that would mean. He is still a free agent. Will he go back? Maybe. Who knows? Who knows how this is going to work out? But the Buccaneers down there, Bruce Arians, Jason Light, and Mike Greenberg, the salary cap manager, the salary capist?
Salary cap guru.
Salary guru. Is that on his card?
Probably. I would
Email?
assume so.
When he signs off an email, it says Mike Greenberg, salary cap guru, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then his phone number. I don't know, whatever it is, they did a fantastic job. They renegotiate Tom Brady for an extension, then move some of that money like Tom has done in New England for the last 20 years. Bring back Gronk. They get Ndamukong Suh back. Ronald Jones is going to go into his contract year here, I believe, but he's back there alongside Leonard Fournette. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin gets a franchise tag. That defense, Levante David's back. Shaq Barrett is back. Nobody has any idea how they did this, but congrats to the Buccaneers making it happen. This is so difficult to do. This is so difficult to do. Because when you win, you assume that you're not going to be able to keep everybody strictly because whenever you're on the national stage, when you perform at the highest level in the biggest game and do well, you would think other teams are like, hey, we need that in our locker room. We would like our culture to be set around a guy that can play at the highest stage, at the highest level. We'd like that. We'd like that. Somehow they were able to keep everybody in the building. I assume it's because the way the salary cap is this year and how the free agent market went, where only a couple of teams really started spending money. He signs a one-year deal. He'll be able to hit free agency next year. Who knows if they'll be able to retain everybody next year. It is a fascinating time in the NFL, and the Super Bowl champions just got basically all of their weapons back, especially if they can bring back Antonio Brown. COVID Cowboy, Tone Diggs, your thoughts on this? That's insane. I did not expect the Buccaneers to be able to do that. The Chiefs were able to do it after they won a Super Bowl. Then they lose a couple people. Now the Bucs are able to do it after a Super Bowl. It's almost like the new thing is, hey, when things are good, let's negotiate. Like, hey, let's get this thing locked down. I'm pumped for him, but it feels like the NFC's maybe in some trouble here for a couple years. The Buccaneers are going to be able to continue to do this.
Incredibly hard to do, and I think the salary cap going down this year actually helped them because of the soft market for a lot of positions. Mike Greenberg, Director of Football Administration, and this makes Leonard Fournette the 20th.
That's a worse name.
Yeah.
Come on. What is it? Say it again.
Director of Football Administration.
I guess if you want to be an administrator.
Director's pretty
Guru sounds way better.
If you could drop a guru into a title. Is there any teams in the NFL that have a guru as a actual title for anyone?
I think Ernie Adams. Yeah, I believe he is just the football guru.
Is that his thing?
No, I actually think he's the same as Greenberg. He's a director of
Football
operations.
And no, they're not operators. They're administrators. It's administrations or whatever. I think if I'm Mike Greenberg, after what I just did, I'd like maybe a chief in there soon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe give me maybe an O at the end, an officer of some sort. You know, like those are two pretty important little words there. Mike Greenberg, whatever the case, unbelievable shit down there. What were you going to say, Diggs, before we cut you off with the title of the guy?
Leonard Fournette is now the 20th highest paid running back for next season.
Yeah.
good value.
Bargain.
I'd say. Bro, He won me, what, 25 grand
Yeah.
with him hitting the parlay where he hits it into second, third gear and then pops that thing into six, floats the gears a little bit.
Yeah.
He was double clutching in that. He's faster. He was faster than people, more powerful than people. That's interesting to me. And this really is, it's kind of just, you get a chance to view how teams view running backs. And it's a shame because you have to have a good one. You have to have a good one. Now, the Green Bay Packers paid Aaron Jones, which is really cool for Aaron Jones and happy about that. Christian McCaffrey got paid down there in Carolina, but as soon as Christian McCaffrey got hurt and they didn't win the Super Bowl this year, all of Carolina was like, get him out of here, get him out of here.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting world to be a running back because you're going to be relied upon in the biggest games, in the biggest moments. You're going to get hit the most. You're going to have a lot of jobs. You're going to have to protect the quarterback while also trying to run through people on a daily basis. And by the way, your shelf life is not going to be long. And whenever you're up to get paid, nobody's really going to want to pay because they think that you won't be able to continue to do what you're doing. Derrick Henry, he got $25 million a year. That's only a 2-year deal, though. Now, that's a lot of fucking money, by the way. He was almost a goddamn MVP candidate this past season. But it's just very fascinating to me. I thought Leonard Fournette was going to get paid. Maybe it's the situation with, COVID and everything. And maybe it's just the NFL being like, there's a lot of running backs out there, which is a shame because if you can get Leonard Fournette, we got Jonathan Taylor, Marlon Mack, we have here in Indianapolis. But if we did not have a stable in the back, like Jonathan Taylor is, I think, going to be unbelievable. Naeem Hines as well. If we didn't, I think I would have been very loud of like, hey, let's get that 55-year-old LSU student that was playing running back down there, Leonard Fournette, who has found that same. Let's get him into Indianapolis. I think he's a real game changer for them, and I would assume Tom is very excited about him coming back.
1,000%.
Connor. Earlier today, you were searching the internet. You said you had. I didn't hear what it was, but you said, "Hey, something sports related on the internet. I'd like to talk about." What was that?
Oh, I don't know if it's sports related, but it is Steven Tyler's birthday. You know, the lead singer Aerosmith.
Happy birthday!
Big Patriots fan. Happy birthday, Steven Tyler. You know Aerosmith. Who doesn't love Aerosmith?
Dream on, dream on. He does country now, I think.
Really?
Like Chris Gaines or Steven Tyler?
No. Chris Gaines does
emo music.
Emo music.
Okay.
Yeah, Garth does the country.
Okay.
So old Steven Tyler would be more like Chris Gaines, actually, because it's not country music, but he does do country music now, I think, like Garth Brooks does with Chris Gaines, but he did, soft rock, hard rock, whatever the hell. I don't want to be on the other end of their fans coming after me for not describing their music. You get it. He's a legend. Yeah, I think he does country music now, too. How old is he? Do you know?
Oh, I believe he turned 58.
No, I think he's 73.
There's no way he's 58.
Yeah, I think he's 73.
Yeah, I didn't look at the age just because Steven Tyler, he's ageless. He's timeless. He doesn't have a number next to his name.
You know what else is timeless?
Who's that?
You just dancing around shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, that's going to be timeless.
Who's timeless?
No, you are. You are. Yeah, you're timeless.
No.
I want to let everybody know that's listening and watching right now that the Boston Stooge, whenever he was prefacing what he was going to talk about here, he was like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
Oh. So I feel like he stepped out of the batter's box on that one and kind of went back on Steven
That was
Tyler.
that fastball down the middle, bro.
I had to, rank the news and what's bigger than Steven Tyler,
Yeah.
The news you had before.
Yeah, well, that's not sports news either.
What news was that?
What's the Steven Tyler? How old is he?
73.
73. Thank you.
I was right there.
So I knew more about the guy than you did. This news that you went ahead and
I was right there.
Ty Schmidt, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing pretty good, I'll tell you what, that was despicable.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, he did. By the way, 'cause we had a Tampa Bay Buccaneers conversation.
We did.
And we were rolling, but we were teased like, hey, got something
Right
big.
before the show started.
Literally, as I'm putting the ear things in, countdown's going down, we're going, hey, I got something big whenever you come over, and then Steven Tyler's fucking birthday.
That's huge. What do you mean? That's a massive day.
You stink, dude.
Yeah.
You absolutely
That's
stink.
huge.
Nah, you stink. dude.
Aerosmith.
Yeah. Jay, mute it. At least a minute or two, it has to happen. Ty, this week, if you had to describe it from a sports, kind of specific title, how would you describe this week if you had to?
I'd say this week, was pretty fucking boring.
Underwhelming?
Yeah.
You'd say underwhelming?
Yeah.
I was coming into this week whenever I went to bed on Sunday night, fresh out of, watching West Virginia lose, and we got March Madness popping up. What we didn't realize was the 4-game break of March Madness Really no juice there, Bob.
No.
There's no juice to really talk about what had happened before, you see, or ahead, you see, because we're too far away. We can talk about it today, which we will, by the way. Zito made a Sweet 16 graphic that is absolutely flawless. We'll dive into that in a second, Foxy. But then, we thought maybe the NFL would help us carry some news. Nothing really. There were some old rumors that kind of got brought back to the surface, like the Russell Wilson stuff. Okay, now listen. Seattle Seahawks fans have been attacking me very much. We did not make up these fucking rumors.
No.
We didn't do any of it, but that did come back to the surface. Then there were some other stories that were trying to make it feels like maybe everybody in the sports media world is potentially just trying to, maybe figure some shit out right now.
Just trying to get through this week.
And then we'll get to next week.
But it is. The Russell Wilson thing has basically just been a carrot they've been dangling in front of us just every couple days. Like, hey,
What?
he said go Hawks, but Team 3's not happy. Let's just move this on a couple more days. Russell Wilson needs to get traded.
For our show, you're saying.
For our show.
Yeah, that's
Seahawks fans, I am sorry, but we need Russell Wilson out of town.
He did congratulate Carlos Dunlap, who just signed back with Seattle. Carlos Dunlap just signed a 2-year, $16-some million deal to go back to Seattle. If you do recall, Carlos Dunlap, freak athlete, great player, was trapped in Cincinnati, playing for the Cincinnati Bengals. This is just how the situation seemed to kind of pan out. He was not thrilled with what was going on in Cincinnati, which I would assume a lot of people have felt that way over the years with Cincinnati. Not saying that's going to be the same going forward. I'm just saying, going back. He actually listed his house for sale immediately following a game. Like, hey, I'm out, by the way, this is for sale. Teammate of his on the Bengals goes underneath and said, let me get some comps. Let me see what the price is. So that immediately made us in the sports media world go, Dunlap's selling his house in Cincinnati in the middle of the season. What's going on? Then there was other reports coming out. He's not happy. They're not happy. We're not happy. Who's happy? Nobody's happy at Cincinnati. So, that whole thing happens. He gets traded to Seattle, immediately becomes a game changer. Just immediately starts making plays for that defense that was absolutely inept last year until, they had some people hurt. Dunlap gets in there. Then they get going. Now he re-signs back there. Pete Carroll's chewing his damn gum saying, we need this guy back. He hated being there. We love what he did here. Who's going to be our quarterback? We don't know, but we do know Dunlap is going to be in there. That's a good signing for them. I'm very happy for Carlos Dunlap, by the way. Very, very happy that it worked. Because anytime there's like public drama, if it doesn't work out, you look like an asshole. Dunlap very much was confident and like, hey, I am not being utilized in the right way here. I would like out of here. He goes and dominates, gets paid, goes back. I'm very happy for Mr. Dunlap.
I think that's the other thing why it seems so boring too, because really outside of the Patriots, any of these guys who could have been available, they've basically just been going back to their teams. Like, like the Cardinals have grabbed a couple guys, but like the people we've really been waiting on to see who's going where, they've basically just stayed put.
Juju.
Staying put.
Nice.
T.Y.
Staying put.
Carlos Dunlap.
Staying put.
J.J. Watt.
What?
That was like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Everyone on the Bucks.
What?
Yeah.
Today's an interesting day, though, because the Buccaneers obviously signed everybody back except for Antonio Brown, but whenever this whole thing started, this whole NFL rosters are going to look different. The seismic shift that is coming, allegedly, is what was said by the Arizona Cardinals owner after, signing JJ, doing an interview or two or something like that after he hopped out of his private plane that he flew himself. Baller. Wow. I own an NFL team. I'm going to fly my plane to go pick up a guy in the middle of the woods at his log cabin, fly him back, sign for 30-some million. I'm going to pay him. And I'm going to do an interview, and then I'm going to get right back on that fucking plane, and I'm going to go get A.J. Green. I'm going to pick his. That's a pretty baller move. But whenever they said the seismic shift was coming, we thought there was going to be
A lot of movement.
And that the thing that came shortly after the seismic shift statement was Kyle Van Noy was cut from the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was like maybe the beginning of, like, the J.J. Watt thing was big. Then when Kyle Van Noy got cut, it was like, oh no, okay, so everybody's gonna have to be cut, and the Saints cut like 10 people. That Kyle Van Noy was the first though, and then that happened. Then it kept moving. Kyle Van Noy has done some interviews since then. He has since re-signed with the Patriots, going back up there. The Dolphins, I think, will pay him some money still next year to play against them a couple times a year or whatever. He goes back to New England. He's been spending money. He'll be joining us in about an hour and 45 minutes or so.
Okay.
Kyle Van Noy, friend of the show, will be joining us now. He caused quite a stir on the internet whenever he was asked about his relationship with B-Flow, and he said no comment, and then everybody started going. We started getting a bunch of tweets because 20 or 30 some days ago, or however long it was, whenever he was in his drop-top Bentley in Miami talking to us, we had asked him about B-Flow, and he said a lot of very positive things about the culture they're building down there. He talked about how much pride he had, by the way, being a part of the group that is turning around the culture for the Dolphins. So whenever he got cut, we were all very confused.
Yep.
I think he was very confused as well. So then whenever he says no comment after this whole thing happens, everybody's like, oh, well, what happened? You know what? And that's what, listen, I'm not going to ask him to tell us exactly what happened because I don't need anybody, airing out their laundry on this show. I don't want to be associated with it because then my comments, my notifications, my mentions are filled with just drama. So, you get back what you put out. But I do have to say, hey, what did this come out of nowhere?
Yeah. What did happen?
What did happen? Hey, let's not get dramatic, but I would like to know, was it? I think the way I'm going to frame it, okay, and we'll do a little word shopping here, together as a team.
Here we go.
Well, I think whenever I talk to Kyle, the way I'm going to frame it is and he might be watching right now, so Kyle, this question's coming, and that doesn't normally happen.
Yep.
But was it a drama thing? Was it like somebody said something about something? Maybe something's going on. Was it a business thing? They asked for a pay cut? You don't have to tell us exactly, but is it because he put out something that said personal? It's personal. It's well, that could be a multitude of things whenever they say something's personal. So I think we will attempt to get a comment from the no comment.
Yep.
We have to. That is our duty to the sports media and to our listeners and viewers. But I'm not going to ask him to air out laundry. We have been in the breaking news world, though.
Oh, yeah. Past few days.
T.Y. doing that Baltimore thing was interesting.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That was really cool. He might end up back in Baltimore a year from now, too. You never know. He signed a one-year deal. A lot of people sign one-year deals. Baltimore's in the game for a wide receiver. It's very apparent. They went after Juju. Juju went back to Pittsburgh. They went after T.Y. T.Y. went back to Indianapolis. I assume they went after Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins was out of the building. I assume they're going to continue to be in the wide receiver market. And if you're Lamar Jackson, you got to be pretty pumped up about that. But then hearing this all, you got to be pretty bummed, too. It's what the fuck are they saying to these guys? That these guys don't want to come to Baltimore, and that's what the internet's big reaction has been. Notifications, mentions after T.Y. says that on this show, a lot of people tweeting. I get a chance to kind of see Ravens fans respond to that, and I get attacked by some people in there for, just existing, I guess. But I get a chance to kind of see the reaction. Baltimore Ravens fans are very bummed about this. Everybody that isn't a Baltimore Ravens fan, though, they're like, well, all these wide receivers say no because Lamar Jackson's the quarterback. Ooh. I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think that is something that maybe one or two people tweeted and then somebody else saw it and it was like, well, that's got to be what it is, actually. And I'm not 100% sure if that's the case. I wonder what it is, though. I wonder what the pitch is that Juju hears it and he goes, nah, I'm going to go here. Now, granted, you got to remember, going back to the building that you've been in for a long time, going back to the city, the house you live in, everything like that. That is something that you can never put a price tag on. That is a comfort, that is a convenience, that is just absolutely priceless. But what's the pitch? There has to be some sort of pitch. What's going on? Can Harbaugh not
Dude, it was a fastball.
Sell the snake oil?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I mean, it certainly sounds like it, especially if these guys if they're not just one-year deals. They're offering decent money, it sounds like, too, so it's definitely not that.
And we have no idea what any of the offers from the Ravens actually are. Just like we don't know what any of the offers are to any of the players. T.Y. didn't even tell us what he was offered, right? And we had a bunch of people talking about T.Y. was full of shit. He was like, he didn't even tell us what he was offered. So what do you even... the internet's a fickle.
Ravens fans were upset.
Ravens fans were upset.
That's a shame.
There was a spin this morning.
Hey, it is. I want to let you know it is. If I'm a Ravens fan and I see them after what happened last, sorry, Gumpy, we'll get to you in 1 second. But it is. If I'm a Ravens fan, and remember Lamar went on Eisen's show and he said the offense was getting predictable.
Yep.
Marquise Brown put out a tweet that was like. A quote of a rap song. It's like, why you got dogs if you ain't even going to use them or something like that?
Never.
And then said never, with an ad lib and never, in the back on the tweet. And then you heard other people talk about predictability of the offense. And it seems like, if you're a Ravens fan, it's like, okay, we got a guy, Lamar Jackson, who is one of one, alien, nobody else doing what he's doing on a football field. And it feels like we're potentially fucking it up, like whenever that was all happening. Now with the offseason, they're trying to make plays. We got to add weapons. Okay, we got to get at least one more person. Maybe that'll help out Marquise. Maybe this will help out Lamar. Remember, Josh Allen's deep ball percentage, and I'm not saying that everybody's attacking Lamar's throw, but Josh Allen's deep ball percentage, once he got a guy like Stephon Diggs who could catch a deep ball for him, his percentage went up through the roof. It makes you a better quarterback whenever you have numerous weapons. Now, I'm not saying that the tight ends that Baltimore has had for a long time are not incredibly talented, and Hollywood Brown, everything like that. But if you get guys that are guys, like Juju, T.Y., Sammy Watkins, another guy that's a guy, that's only going to help out Lamar Jackson. So I'm not 100% sure that these guys are saying no because of Lamar Jackson. I think it's potentially the pitch, whatever else they got going on, what's the future, and also, is this worth more than me moving out of the house that I've lived in and getting free agency with a no COVID like salary cap 1 year from now with with T.Y. that's not a quarterback, but it's a system he knows. With Juju, it's a quarterback he knows. Is it worth it? So if you're a Ravens fan, I'm not completely sold that it's about Lamar like every other fan is. I think there's a lot more factors into it. What were we going to say, Gump?
There was a spin this morning that they think wide receivers have to block too much in the Ravens offense.
Which, by the way, that could be a part of their pitch where it's like, hey, we love that you blah, 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 you blah, blah, blah. Here, you're going to have to block or whatever. That might be. Who knows? What were you going to say, Nick?
I think there's credibility to that because I think a lot of the major criticism shouldn't fall so much on Lamar. It should go to the Ravens OC, Greg Roman.
Yeah,
I think he takes a lot of heat there in that case. And I don't think guys want to play for him.
Well, and who knows if it's personally, and I don't think that's whenever you say guys don't want to play for him.
No, his scheme.
It's not him as a person, but it's like maybe if you're T.Y. or Juju and you're doing a 1 or 2 year deal and you hear that, or Sammy Watkins, and you hear that the salary cap is going to be $250 million in 4 or 5 years from now after this 11-year, $110 billion media rights deal with people going back into stadiums, and I would assume there's going to be an upcharge on everything in there. Yeah. Don't expect that overpriced Coke that you drank at a stadium game to not be that's going to be a more overpriced Coke.
Oh, yeah.
This ridiculous. So if you're a wide receiver and it's like, okay, I have a chance to I'll get less balls than I got last year somehow, going into a new place, new house. And in 2 years, for T.Y., he said he wanted a 1 or 2 year deal. I assume Juju was similar. In 2 years, whenever this thing's crazy, I'm going to have less catches. That seems like it seems like it is the scheme. Now, maybe they're telling him that we're going to open this thing up a little bit more. Who knows?
And to that point, I just sent a tweet to the boys from 6 days ago from Des Bryant that says, all of this Lamar hate is starting to get on my nerves. Just know I got to see firsthand what he have to deal with. Him being able to play QB is far from the issue, says Des Bryant. 1,400 retweets. Pretty good. Yeah, so I think that is what everybody... So the attack on Lamar's arm was the low-hanging fruit, I think, for the internet to do its thing. But it seemed like it was a lot of people that were saying it, just from my kind of scroll through my notifications to what was said. I think it's much more so, how many balls am I going to get? And when I'm a free agent here in 2 years, are they going to care about how great of a blocker I was in Baltimore? Or are they going to want to see how many balls I could catch? And when this thing is $250 million and contracts are only going to go like this, and I'm still going to be able to cash in again, that seems much more likely. I'm happy we landed on this. But.
And if they're looking for that cash in again, because the Ravens still have to pay Lamar Jackson probably a massive contract, there's not going to be money to go around for all the guys that they got there. Whereas if T.Y. goes back to Indy, has a really good year, he has a chance to get a pretty nice contract from the Colts.
Now they have to pay the Colts.
Yeah, they have a few guys.
But
yeah, any quarterback contract that's on the horizon, every team has to think about it. So it was dangled over my head, by the way, when I was going.
Bucks.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to have to pay.
You get it.
He's good.
You understand.
He's really good, right? So you think maybe you'll go down? I'm like, what does that have anything to do with me, man? I think he's really good, yeah, but the only reason why I'm here is if he doesn't do great or whatever. That's my whole job, But yeah, I guess just take, I don't know, however many you want to take.
Fine.
How many million you take? Whoa, jeez.
Hold on.
I mean, I get it, though. And then, by the way, they did pay him.
Yeah.
So everything they were telling me was true.
Hindsight.
It was very true.
Would have been perfect for you throughout. Well, what if he retires a little early?
You guys ever think about him and me both retiring early? Then what? You ever think about that? You ever think about that? at Viva Lazito. How you doing, pal?
Oh, amazing. You want to hear the old poll of the day?
Hey, by the way, Zeke,
I would say quote. I kept thinking quote the whole time in my head.
Well, to quote me from earlier, Zito put together a Sweet 16 graphic.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Zeke. Hey, Zeke. Zeke tried to do this yesterday, and he put 32. He took the 32 and then tried to put 16 teams in there. And
would have been great.
It wasn't fitting for some reason.
Yeah.
But then I did it this way, and it was way easier.
Yeah, Foxy, can you put that up real quick? Look at this. This weekend, by the way, big things are happening.
Huge.
Hey, things are happening this March 27th, March 28th. The Sweet 16 will take place. There are 4 games on Saturday, 4 games on Sunday. I believe it goes into Monday, there's games.
And
Tuesdays, there's games. March Madness is about to get chaotic. Who's going to win? Who cares?
The wig. I mean, we know.
Every year.
Loyola, Chicago.
Hell yeah.
Every
Come on,
year,
sister.
we all get so fucking pumped for the first 2 rounds, and then after that's over, it's kind of like, all right.
All right, West Virginia's out. All right, so I don't care anymore.
Sweet 16 carries a little juice, but then after that, it's like, all right.
Elite 8, it depends on who makes it.
Yeah.
If the big wig gets down there,
Oh, yeah.
I'll be watching.
with his little.
Yeah, see ya.
What time's he playing? Can you put that back up? What?
First, I think.
Yeah, they do play.
They put the big wig on first?
Yeah.
Smart. Let's kick off the week.
Yep.
Let's kick off the Sweet 16 with the big wig.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris's kid, Caden or Braden or whatever his name is. Who's the coach there in Loyola?
Porter Mosier.
Yes.
How long's he been coaching there?
I think like 5 years. He used to be Rick Majerus's main assistant. Yeah, rest in peace. You probably know him if you saw him, but
Of course. Rest in peace, Rick.
He's been at Loyola since 2011.
Shut up.
See, it feels like that guy's a guy that somebody would grossly overpay to get into their franchise or organization because that team is so perfect. But hey, it might be like Shaka. Whenever you move, you might not be able to do it.
Yeah.
I wonder if this guy just appreciates, hey, I'm gonna stay here. This is our team. We built up a school here. We got this nun lady. She's talking directly to God for us. Why would I go anywhere else? Do they pay? Loyola Chicago, I assume, pay their basketball coach.
I'm assuming he is
Loyola Chicago, big
handsomely
money.
paid.
Oh, yeah. It's downtown, so it's pretty nice.
Catholic school, right? Is that what that is? I would assume, right?
Probably
Yeah,
Sister
it's
Jane.
sister.
Yeah.
Sister's nun, yeah. So Catholic school downtown Chicago.
Yeah.
So it's all Irish people, I wonder? Is
Probably not. I don't know.
So he turned down St.
the hospital,
John's,
I'm
where
pretty
he
sure.
would have got $2 million, which says it would have been significant. He makes $900,000 a year. This was
Does he get a bonus
Yeah,
for
that's
winning the
gonna
national
go up
championship?
this was in
this year.
2019. The article.
Well, then Uncle COVID came through. They couldn't even sell any tickets down there in
True.
Loyola Chicago. Yeah. You should see the nuns when they get going. The fans, the student section, the nun section. Go big wig, go big wig.
It's like Sister Act, the movie with Whoopi.
Oh, great movie,
Yeah.
by the way.
yeah.
Hey, great movie.
I love that movie.
She had to hide out a little bit. She turned that whole place around, by the way. They needed Whoopi.
They need a little music.
What was the poll today?
Today was, is Zach Wilson a lock for the number 2 pick in the NFL draft? Question mark. Right now, yep, 29%. Nope, 71.
Okay, so people are wondering, he might throw some in the dirt today over there in Provo, Utah. I've been watching Murder Among the Mormons over there. It feels like I've been in Utah the last couple of days. The weather's beautiful over there.
Gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
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 They're banning porn, too, I
Trying
guess.
to force out Johnny Sins.
Well, that's what. That's
What?
it. They're
Yeah.
banning
Good
porn
luck.
over there.
Man.
Well, do you think there's a chance that it maybe messes with Zach Wilson a little bit today?
No, it's not banned yet. But if this pro day was in 6-7 weeks, I think there's a chance that there could be no balloon.
If it was Big Ben's pro day, they would.
Oh, dude.
I can't think.
Roethlisberger is pumped that Ohio didn't ban the porn back there when he was coming out of Miami. Because it worked, by the way.
Yeah.
For a
Won a
long
couple
time.
Super Bowls, unbelievable. Hey, for a long time. What are you saying?
No, it worked for a long time. What do you mean?
Are you saying it's not good anymore?
Oh, we're trying to twist my words.
Tony.
Yeah.
Well,
You don't like Big
I
Ben?
thought this was Feel Good Friday.
You're right. But you did allude to the fact that he was dead. He was not good at football.
No,
work.
it's a long time. You're 18.
Oh, okay. Still going, you're saying.
Took the bronze earlier this week.
Hey, yeah, I like the Browns to win the AFC North.
As value, dude.
Okay.
Better
I don't
value
just
on
take
the
every
Steelers.
team that I love. Like
We
you
have to
do
get
and
to a
lose.
break. We have to get to a break.